She didn't touch his phone. She didn't guess his passwords. She just checked one unfamiliar hotel charge and called the front desk. What she found wasn't just a reservation. It was a routine. And when he sat down for dinner, she slid a printed spreadsheet across the table. Vanessa from San Jose, she didn't check his messages, just his receipts. Series, 10 True Affair Stories from California. Vanessa sat at the kitchen counter with her laptop open, a spreadsheet glowing in the soft overhead light. It was late, nearly midnight, but she didn't feel tired. Numbers had always steadied her. In the midst of stress, loss, or uncertainty, there was something comforting about balance sheets. They told the truth, quietly and without drama. She was combing through the joint credit card statement to prepare payments for her mother's hospital stay. A routine task. She had done it 100 times before. Filter by date. Cross-check categories. Scan for anything flagged as out of budget. That's when she saw it. Hotel Vieira, San Jose Airport. $389.22. She frowned. The charge was dated 2 weeks ago on a Thursday. She hovered her mouse over the transaction. Description: boutique suite, champagne package, late checkout requested. Her fingers paused. That was the day she'd been at the hospital for nearly 10 hours, sitting beside her mother after surgery, eating vending machine crackers and checking her daughter's homework from her phone. She remembered texting her husband, Marcus, around 6 p.m. He replied with a thumbs up emoji. Said he had a late call. She opened a new tab. Typed the hotel's name. Found the number. Called. A soft-voiced receptionist answered. Vanessa kept her tone professional, almost bored. Hi. I'm just trying to confirm a recent stay. Marcus Benton, 2 weeks ago, Thursday night. I think it was charged to our family card. There was a pause. A few keystrokes. Yes, I have that here, the receptionist said. Checked in at 4:43 p.m., checked out Friday morning at 10:57 a.m. Vanessa exhaled slowly. Room amenities. Champagne welcome. Late checkout. Breakfast for 2. Thank you. She ended the call. Her hand rested on the mouse, but she didn't move. The screen dimmed slightly. Her reflection hovered faintly over the spreadsheet. No confrontation rose inside her. No instant fury. Just the sensation she used to get at work when something didn't reconcile: a number off, a date that didn't match. Her body knew the truth before her mind could form the words. She opened the full monthly statement. Uber rides. Dinner at a place they never went to together. One florist. A second hotel 2 months back. It wasn't just one mistake. It was a pattern. She created a new worksheet. Named it, Anomalies. Column A, Date. Column B, Vendor. Column C, Amount. Column D, Explanation, if any. Column E, Notes. She copied the Hotel Vieira charge into the first row. This wasn't paranoia. It was protocol. At her job, she was trusted with finding financial inconsistencies. She knew the difference between noise and a signal. And this was a signal. She didn't cry. Didn't slam the laptop shut. She highlighted the row, turned the cell red, and saved the file. Some women checked phones. Some checked clothes. Vanessa checked the numbers. And the numbers didn't lie. Vanessa woke up earlier than usual the next morning. The coffee hadn't finished brewing before she was already back at the kitchen counter, laptop open, cursor blinking on the spreadsheet she had started the night before. The word anomalies still sat in bold at the top of the sheet, like a headline she hadn't written, but had always known would appear. She pulled up 6 months' worth of credit card statements, downloading PDFs, and converting them into editable documents. Her fingers moved fast. This was muscle memory. She'd done this 100 times in the office, flagging misuse, tracking errors, reconciling rows. But this wasn't company money. This was her life. She created new columns. Date. Vendor. Amount. Time of transaction. Location. Cross-referenced her calendar. Doctor appointments. Work travel. School events. Every moment she could prove she hadn't been near him. Slowly, patterns emerged. There was another hotel charge, this one from a place in Palo Alto, labeled discreetly under a generic name. An Uber trip from a downtown bar at 11:47 p.m. 2 dinners billed to restaurants with outdoor seating, both on nights she'd been out with her sister. She color-coded every entry, red for hotels, blue for ride shares, yellow for meals. Soon, the screen looked like a crime scene. She added a final column labeled conflict. In it, she logged where she had been during each questionable charge. It wasn't hard. Her life was documented: Google Calendar, text threads, receipts. Her absence lined up too perfectly with his indulgence. As the document grew, she printed each page and laid them out across the dining table. A visual map. Paper trails, financial DNA. Every receipt, a breadcrumb. Every Uber timestamp, a footprint. She printed maps. Drew lines between restaurants and hotels. Measured times. Coordinated overlaps. It felt less like revenge and more like revelation. By midday, she had a full binder labeled Q1 and Q2. She added page numbers. A table of contents. Tabs. She didn't feel rage. Only precision. There was no drama in data. It was just numbers. But numbers carried weight. And now, they spoke. Every charge he thought she wouldn't notice had become a chapter. She paused and sat back, scanning her work. The same way she had audited complex systems at her job, she had audited her marriage. And the system had failed. It wasn't just the betrayal of intimacy. It was the betrayal of logic. Of pattern. Of assuming she'd never run the report. She reached for a pen and jotted a note on a yellow sticky pad. Never mistake silence for ignorance. Then she placed it on the cover of the binder. Later that evening, she opened her personal journal and wrote, not about heartbreak, but about structure. He didn't hide the truth, she wrote. He just hoped I'd never measure it. And she had. Line by line. Vanessa didn't light candles or play music. She didn't cook. The table was set for 2 takeout containers in the middle, a pitcher of water, and a plain manila folder directly between them. No centerpiece. No wine. Just silence waiting to be filled. Marcus walked in like it was any other Wednesday. He loosened his tie, kissed her cheek, and said, "Thanks for ordering." "Rough day." She gestured to the chair across from her. "Sit." He did. She didn't hand him the folder. She slid it. Slowly. Deliberately. He glanced at it, then at her. "What's this?" She said nothing. Just looked at him. He opened the folder. Inside, spreadsheets. Color-coded charts. Printed receipts. Timelines. A complete audit of his carelessness. His eyes darted across the pages. He flipped one. Then another. Vanessa watched as the realization set in, not just that he'd been caught, but that she had done it with irrefutable structure. There were no photos. No accusations. Just dates, amounts, cross-references, and highlights. He licked his lips. "Vanessa, I dash." She raised her hand. No words. Just stillness. He looked down again. His finger hovered over a highlighted charge from March 3rd, dinner for 2 at a place she hated, tagged at the same time she'd been at a parent-teacher conference. She spoke, finally. "I used to track your growth as a man. Now I just track your expenses." Marcus leaned back, shoulders sagging. "It's not what it looks like." She tilted her head. "Then you should read it more carefully." There was no anger in her voice. Only precision. She wasn't here for tears. Not his. Not hers. She stood. Walked to the kitchen. Returned with a second folder. "This is for you," she said, placing it beside the first. "Account closures. My removal from the mortgage. And the lawyer's number if you'd like mediation." Marcus's mouth opened again. And again, nothing useful came out. She sat back down. "I'm not asking questions. I'm not looking for reasons. I'm giving you your ledger. And I'm balancing mine." He dropped his head into his hands. She waited. Calm. Like someone who had done this before, not because she had, but because she had done the emotional math. And the total was 0. No savings. No gain. Just a clean, quiet exit. When she finally stood again, she said nothing else. She left the room the way she'd entered, quiet, calculating, complete. And behind her, Marcus sat alone, surrounded by everything he never thought she'd count. Vanessa packed the next morning without fanfare. She folded clothes with care, filled 2 suitcases, and placed her laptop in the padded sleeve she always used for audits. There were no tearful glances at the walls, no dramatic moments in the doorway. She had already said everything she needed to say with spreadsheets and silence. By noon, she had removed her name from the shared utilities, called the bank to separate accounts, and scheduled a visit to the leasing office to amend the rental agreement. Each action was deliberate, logged in her own personal checklist, complete with checkboxes and timestamps. There were no arguments. Marcus didn't try to stop her. Whether he understood or simply accepted, she didn't know. And honestly, she didn't care. This wasn't about winning. It was about closing the books. She moved into a modest apartment 3 miles away. Quiet, clean, with a view of nothing in particular. But it was hers. Her daughter visited on weekends. They baked cookies, watched documentaries, and worked on math homework with sharpened pencils and soft jazz in the background. Vanessa didn't change who she was. She simply removed what no longer aligned. A week later, she published a post on her industry's internal blog. Not a confession, not a tell-all, just an observation. The title, Emotional Leakage: How Spending Habits Reveal Relationship Health. It opened with a line that could have been mistaken for academic detachment. When a pattern emerges in discretionary spending, it often mirrors a deeper, unspoken need. The post outlined how inconsistencies in personal finance could signal not just financial mismanagement, but emotional misalignment, impulse, guilt, deception, neglect. She shared anonymized case studies. She included charts. The tone was professional, clinical, but between the lines, there was something else: experience. It spread quickly. Colleagues shared it. A university professor emailed to ask if she'd speak on a panel. A mental health advocate requested to reprint the article for a broader audience. Dozens of quiet messages trickled into her inbox. I read this and cried. Thank you. I never thought about it this way, but it makes sense. I finally checked our account. You made me feel less stupid. Vanessa responded to none of them. But she read every word. It was never about going public. It was about going clean. She didn't post a quote on Instagram. Didn't trash his name. Didn't forward the receipts to his colleagues. She had what she needed: a zero balance. No remaining questions. No emotional debt. One evening, she walked through her new apartment with the lights off. Just moonlight through the blinds. The space felt quiet, but not lonely. She sat on the edge of her bed and opened a small notebook. She wrote, "Clarity doesn't need closure. It just needs boundaries." Then she put the pen down. And she didn't pick it up again. Vanessa didn't become a spokesperson for betrayal. She became a reminder that sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones no one knows are yours. And when she went to sleep that night, she didn't dream of confrontation. She dreamed of balance. And she'd already achieved it. Some endings come with fireworks. Others come with folders, signatures, and clean lines. But in our next story, the ending doesn't come first. It begins with a lie so carefully rehearsed. Even the husband believed it was true. Until his wife from Napa found the script he left behind. Stay with us for the next chapter in 10 True Affair Stories from California. Because some affairs aren't spontaneous. They're planned. Right down to the reservation.